All right. Everybody see the red dot recording?
Yes.
Okay. So any questions that we need to start out with on anything specific? And like I said, I do regard feedback. I want feedback. I want you talking to me so that it's not just me talking constantly. I can't teach if I don't know what you need. I do know what your Trello card says, but it makes it easier on me to hear it from you directly, because then you have some input in your training, and your correspondence will stick a little bit better if you're asking the questions that you need and hearing the answer and basically communicating. It sticks with you better than just listening to me go over something. Your input is valuable to me, so I want to make sure that you are, engaging in our conversations. Also, sometimes your feedback and your questions will help someone else that you're not aware of that just might be a little shy of talking. I hope that we don't have, too many people on here, or that you overcome that, because this business really is a great asset. Your PBS is the one thing that you need to make sure you always stay updated on and stay consistent with. And I'm going to show you some things today on why that is important, why people, we harp on, keep your website up to date, get it active, get it running, make sure that it's current and relevant and searchable. So at the end of class today, I'm going to show you some things that surprised me. I actually got an update from Bing and Yahoo that two of my pages, or a few of my pages actually, are now indexed on pages 2 and 3, which is wonderful. So that means my pages are actually getting looked at and getting searched. They're no longer back, on page 5. I got some that's still on page 6, some that's on 5. But to have a page on page 2 not only helps the page that's indexing on page 2, but it also helps my whole website in general. So that's a great accomplishment, and it comes straight from marketing, doing those free ad sites, getting people to look at my website, through those free ads, social media, anywhere that you can put an ad site. And I'm going to go over some different places that I know some people are not aware that they can advertise. And it really helps get notice, your website notice. It's all in the wording of how you do it. So we'll be going over some different avenues for you to advertise in. So okay. So first question, I'm ready.
When we're working with the block, and we're transferring over a page that was done in Classic. Mm-hmm. I've already put the information on each picture.
Okay.
I am not quite sure how to do it in block yet. And the other thing is, if I do it in block, how do I have to then go to the other information, wipe it out, and then do it in the block format?
Okay, and this is for pictures?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll show you how to do that. Okay. Let's see. Anybody else?
Sheila?
Uh-huh.
I wrote in the chat, but I was afraid you might not see it. I'd like to see how you find out how many people have clicked on your site.
I don't see how many have clicked. If you go to your dashboard, you can see how many is clicked on your link per your dashboard. Because I have Google keeps track of that for me. When you get Google AdSense, they have a tracking, and they can actually tell you who clicked it and where they clicked. I had so many, the ones that are ranking right now on Bing and on Yahoo, they're being clicked overseas, not in the United States. They're being clicked in like Belgium and France, Italy. A few of them was in the United States, but most of them are in countries outside the U.S. So they are looking, and it's funny, but it's on my Valentis, the diet, my Ditch the Diet page. But as far as knowing your clicks, even on your free ad sites. The classifieds for free or classified ads, I think it is one of those. They don't do that. US Net Ads does not give you a report. AbleWise will give you a weekly counter of how many times your ad was seen, not necessarily clicked. You actually have to pay for that to see how many people actually clicked your ad, but they will show you how many times your ad was seen. Same thing with classifieds for free. If you look on your ads when you go to update them, it will have at the end of the ad title your views, and that shows you how many times your ad was viewed. Now, the one that I posted last week has already gotten into the double digits, and it's all in the marketing. I have one that's still at 0, so I'm going to leave it out there. You just never know. I was checking through some of my ads that I posted earlier in the year, and some of them are already up to like 200-300 views. So, you know, it doesn't tell me how many actually clicked it, but if you go to your dashboards for your marketing houses, it will show you how many times that somebody actually viewed whatever offer it is. That's the only way you can keep up with your clicks until you get Google AdSense, and then they have the analytics that will show you exactly which link was clicked and how many times and where.
That pretty well answers me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anybody else? Come on, guys.
Sheila, this is Catherine. I know we'll probably go over this when we do the modifying pages, but I just wanted to get this in. I'm still having trouble with pictures, how to put the pictures in, and also when I put the picture in and then I go back and read the paragraph, it looks good, and then when I go to update it and go back and look at it, the writing's not placed correctly.
When you preview it, yeah.
Yeah.
And it depends on which block you're using. If you're using Classic Block and you input a picture in a Classic Block, you can manipulate it a little bit better based on the size of your picture. If you use an image block, there's hardly any way that you're going to be able to manipulate that picture within the wording. If you use a text media block, it's almost impossible to get it exactly the way you want it unless your picture's really huge or your writing's really small. So that's why you find a lot of us senior instructors that have been here before the change. We use Classic Block a lot because it's a little bit more user friendly. The regular block does have its advantages, like with HTML code for people that are not comfortable writing code or inputting code. That particular block works really good. Putting in media, that, if you want to put in a video, that block works really good. But if you want to center pictures around text, your Classic Block is probably the better format for that.
Okay. All right. Good.
And I'll show you how to do that, because I just finished a page, and that's mainly what I used in a lot of mine, because I knew I had pictures I wanted to implement and I wanted it to wrap. And so I used the Classic Block. And even then, when you use it, you're still going to have to play with your structure on your placement. So you might have to place it at the beginning of the sentence on the first paragraph, or you might have to place it 3 sentences down, and then play with your sizing to get it exactly the way you want it. And you always click on your preview after you've done the changes so that you can see how it's going to look. And then if it doesn't look right, you can always come back, delete the picture, add it back in, and just adjust it. It's just a rule of thumb, that you're going to be playing with it until you get it exactly the way you want it. And you might not get it exact, but you will be able to get it closer using the Classic Block than you will be able to use it any other block.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll show you how to do that, because like I said, I've actually done that in my pages.
Okay, great.
Pull up my page and show it to you.
Okay.
Anybody that has come on within the last 10 or 15 minutes, if you would please go to the chat and type your full name in so that I can keep a roll and update your Trello cards and let your instructors know that you did attend class today. That would be wonderful. Okay. All right. All right. Anybody else?
When you're using Classic like that and you haven't gotten Google approval, will that make any difference that where you're not using the block
No,
format the way they planned it?
no, because the Classic, the way the system is set up now with the two updates before this last one, Classic block is a block now, so there's nothing different.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah. So now, even though I go back in and use Classic, it's still they've now converted it to a block. So now before when we used Classic, we would have to convert it to a block, but now they've actually implemented a Classic block. So now when you use that, you don't have to convert it anymore.
Okay, yeah, someone told me that, and I guess they were more referring to a couple of things back.
Yeah.
Using block is so much easier.
Yeah.
Or using Classic is so much easier.
It is. And that's why it's just so much more user friendly. You can do so much more with it. And I think that's why they came back and put a Classic block. Because before you could still go and you switch between the two formats. And then they cut that out because when you went to Classic format, couldn't link it. You can do everything but link it, and then when you convert it to blocks and you went in to change your links, your colors changed, and you couldn't go back and change your colors because once you converted it to block, you couldn't go back to Classic. So I think with a lot of the feedback that we gave them, that Rory pitched in and gave them, they actually came back and created a Classic block. So you have basically all the functionality of the Classic format, but now it's in a block. And it makes it so much easier. Made a lot of us very happy.
Yeah, me among them.
Yes. So now you can actually go in and, change your titles, colors, change your link colors if you want to, and just make your page a little bit more unique. So it flows a little bit better as you change subjects. People can actually visibly see that, oh, something changed because there's a new color. Instead of it all being one color. So same thing with pictures, but you do have the functionality to change in between blocks because as you can see here, I actually used a media block here in this particular one. This is all Classic. This is a gallery block. So it also helps you to change the way your page looks by incorporating different blocks inside it. This is an HTML block. Then I went back to Classic, so it just depends on, what you're in the mood for, on how you want to do it. And see, like here, how it wraps around. I couldn't do that with media, text media. It just didn't do right. And if I had it in just a media block, then this picture would be by itself, and then all my wording would be in a different block. So it works really good when you have the Classic. You just have to play with it a little bit to get it to look the way you want it to look. So
great, thanks.
You're very welcome. All right. So what else? Anybody? Anything specific? We have looks like we got a small class today, so we can go over specifics. Because I only have a couple of things I'm going to go over. So either we're going to end class really early. All right, somebody has two electronic devices a little too close to each other. So either move one of them or cut one of them off, and it will get rid of that feedback when you get on. So let's check the chat. Oh, there's nothing in the chat. Okay.
Hey, Sheila.
Hey.
Hi, listen, I was just wondering, did you find out anything about state-based?
No, they're still, I don't know why, but some people when they're going, because even mine now, it doesn't show me anything. And Debbie Lizzie, she is actually helping with customer service on state-based. So as soon as she finds the answer, she's going to let me know on how we can get that fixed. I've done everything that I can do, and it's still not showing me my link. Even though I have my link previously, it's the same if you have your link from previous. I just want to see how many views I've had, because it was showing me how many people actually signed up. I got like almost 80 people signed up for state-based that I had no clue had signed up for state-based. And they're not all students. So now I can't see that number. And so hopefully she will let me know. Usually Debbie gets back to me pretty quickly, because she knows I usually don't contact her unless it is something I absolutely cannot find or figure out. So hopefully she will get back with me before the end of the day, or at least before the end of the weekend. I know that they're doing a student training call right now, instructor call. So hopefully she'll get back with me before or when that's over.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome, dear. Okay, anybody else? Again, like I said, if you've gotten on in within the last few minutes, if you would go into the chat and write your name, your full name, so that I can update your card and let your instructor know that you were on class today, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, anybody else? And then we're going to get started. Anybody?
Okay, so I don't need to go in and write my name too. Do I need to go in the chat and?
No, my students, you don't need to.
Oh, okay then. Thanks.
Yep. Okay. Anybody else got anything specific they want to go over today relating to your webpage? Anybody? If not, we're going to have a really short class. Okay. All righty then, we're going to get started. All right, so this is a page that I created a couple of nights ago, and it was based on recipes. I actually found a good keyword to use, quick easy meals, and I just put quick easy meals in minutes, and put a few things in there about how our life is just rotating around everything else but eating healthy. A lot of times because of situations, we don't eat healthy, do fast food joints, or come home and eat junk food, or not eat at all. So I was just doing some alternatives. Protein shakes and smoothies work great. There's my link for my Valentis. Here's some different links here for some of my vendors, and CJ for fresh vegetables delivered. Here's one that actually delivers prepared meals. All they have to do is just throw them in the oven. Here's one of my vendors or affiliates that actually does a meal planner for a weekly meal planner where people can, register and actually have meal planned out for them. And I put these links in after I wrote my article or my blog page. I always call it a blog. And I'll go over terminology, how terminology is key when you're posting ads in certain places. And so you want to make sure that you when you're writing and you do your keyword, you want to make sure that you're using your keyword not only in your text as you're writing, but also in your headers. When I got finished with this, my SEO was already green and green. I didn't have to go back and change anything, mainly because I've been doing this for so long. It's almost second nature. Like this picture is really big. So I think I'm going to change this picture. And a lot of people's like, well, how do I change the picture? So this picture is actually an image block. So you see these dots right here that's surrounding the picture. All I'm going to do is move them in. And as you can see, it changes the size of my picture. Makes it a little bit more relevant to the actual article and pages in it. It's not so overpowering. So one person was asking about how to get your links in your pictures. So if you're using an image block, which this one is telling me, so if you look over here to your right side, you actually see how your page is constructed. So whenever you click on a block, it will tell you what type of block you're using. So this one is telling me I'm using an image block. So when I'm using an image block, my details for my image block is over here right up underneath it. You have your image settings. So when you have this here on your image settings, this is where you're going to type in your alternative text. Your alternative text is always going to be your focus keyword, because that's how your picture will index when it's on Google. When people search for Google Images and they only use a keyword to get images, you also want to make sure you have a way for them to index your images as well. So you want to make sure that you put your keyword up underneath your alternative text always. Don't ever leave that blank. Okay. Your size, you don't really have to worry about your size because you can manually change your size with these points here on your picture. So don't worry about your size or your dimensions. The other thing you want to look at is your link to settings. And I left this one blank because I knew I was going to use this as a teaching tool. So my link to settings, you always want to make sure that you are linking it to a custom URL. And once that happens, then it's going to ask you what is your URL, your link URL. So I know that this one, I want it to go to a beef URL. And I do have some steak companies, so I'm going to come here to my CJ affiliate. And I'm going to log in. Okay, so as of yesterday, I had 296 people come in and look at my website. I didn't have anybody click it, but I did have 296 come in. So I'm going to come here and hit my search tool, and it's going to take me to my affiliates. And your search tool will always take you to your approved affiliates. It won't take you anywhere else. It'll just take you to the affiliates that you've been approved for. So then what I'm going to come to here is I'm going to type in steak. And here's one, first-time buyers. I want to use the Chicago. There's another one I have, but if we don't find that one, I'll use Chicago steak. I use Chicago steak a lot because they were one of the first ones that approved me. So I try to stay with them a lot, but I do have another steak company I want to try out too. They might be listed under something else besides steak. I can't remember what their name is.
Sheila?
Mm-hmm.
Could you sometime in the future have a lesson on how to use each one of these affiliate companies better?
Yeah, we can actually do that today because we're really going to have a short class if no one's speaking up. So we can.
I would like to learn how to get around in them better.
Yep, we can definitely do that. So let me make a note.
Yeah, I agree with that. But see, I didn't think about that till, oh, okay. Yeah, Bruce said that. Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't think of the question right away.
Yep, that's why I say it's good for, because y'all bounce off of each other, and it makes me topics for me a whole lot easier to come by and know what I need to be teaching.
Well, when I watch you and I think to myself, how does she do that? Then it's time to ask a question.
Yep. So when you come to CJ, and for those that have been here for a while, you know that some of the sites are hard to get approved for. If you get denied the first time, I promise you, keep trying, come back a week later, come back 2 weeks later and apply again. There's no set limit on how many times you can apply for them. I've been denied for some forever, and I still get denied from some. And, you know, they'll come back a couple of weeks later and I'll get an email saying, welcome to our affiliate program. And I'm like, but you just denied me a few weeks ago. They watch your numbers. They look to see if you're sticking around, especially the bigger name companies like your Nike, your Adidas, your Macy's outlets, you know, your bigger brands that are marketing here under this marketing house. Because what you have to realize is they are basically setting up you and a virtual store. They're creating marketing just for you. They're creating images. They're creating backgrounds. But whoever's got that in the background, could you please mute yourself? It is killing my ear. So you want to make sure they won't give you links until, okay, I'm going to have to mute them myself. There it is. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to continue trying. I actually have a list of companies that should give you immediate or approval or access within 24 hours of you applying for them. So, you know, if you don't have it, get with your instructor, or I can actually repost it in the chat rooms if you need it. That will make it easier. So once you get approved for it, like I said, you just come to your links and go to your search, and it will pull up your approved links only. You don't have to go in and ask for approval. This will approve your links only. So let me go ahead and get this one. And then once you get approved, you just, you know, look for what you're looking for specifically. This actually tells you the latest date that it was updated. That lets you know that if it's a still valid link. This lets you know about how much money you can be making if it's a fairly new program. They usually don't give you any dates. If it's a new ad, they don't give you any dates. Don't worry about it, the money compensation, because trust me, every one of these pays you something if somebody buys something. Some of them will actually have a monetary value attached to it, like this one. And usually that tells you if somebody clicks on this ad, the average sale is about this much money, is what you'll be making from an average sale. Some of them actually have click ratios. You'll see a lot of these text ones here on some companies, like this one here, it's $1.91. So it's basically saying that if you have this link and somebody clicks this link, they'll pay you $1.91 just for somebody clicking that link. So some of them do have click ratios. You just have to be aware of what each thing stands for. And then if you're like, well, I want to use that, then all you have to do is just click right here where it says get code. Or what's first? I want to use this first time buyers. And it doesn't really matter which one you want to use. You can look here and see what it actually says when they click on the link. It's going to take them to the first time buyer special. They'll see this banner immediately. And you can, you know, if you just want to see the Chicago State Company, you know, whatever you want to see, this will be a great one for holidays. When I do my holiday promotional page, I'll probably use one of those. But right now, I just want to use the first time buyers. And I think I want to use this bigger one. So I'm just going to come here and hit click get code. And it's going to pull up the code. Get out of the way. And this happens sometimes. I don't know why it does. It's like the banner just wants to stick around for a bit. And get my code. You're in the way of my code. Okay, we will get a different code. There we go. So, my code. And we always use our click URL if we're using just the code in our links. So I'm going to click on this one and I'm going to hit copy. Then I'm going to go back to my page and my picture's still up. So I'm going to make sure I'm on custom URL. I'm going to paste my link in here and I want to make sure I open it in a new tab. That's all you need to do when you're in Block for a picture. Now, the ones I have in Classic, like with this one, this is in Classic. So you see I clicked on the picture. Up here in my right-hand corner, it tells me I'm using Block in the Classic Block. Now, in Classic Block, when you do your pictures, you have a toolbar over each individual picture. So all you're going to do is click your edit pencil, and it's going to pull up an image detail. And you have basically the same information that you do with your image block. It's just a little bit more concise, a little bit more visible. So you have your picture. Again, you have your alternative text. You want to make sure that you use your focus keyword. Your display settings, you don't worry about your sizing. You adjust your sizing the same way you do on your image block. You adjust it manually. And then you have your custom URL. You want to just copy the URL that you want it to send to. If you ever log into your direct sellers and you go to shop, or if you just log in and shop the items that are there, if you click on it, a particular wine, it will pull up the URL. This is my direct sellers number. So I can direct them to a specific bottle of wine, and which is what I did here. So they can click on that and it will take them straight to this bottle of wine in my direct sellers my direct sellers link. Or if you don't want to do that, you just want them to shop, then you can put your direct sellers link there or a page for your direct sellers. But you always want to make sure that it's a custom URL. Your advanced options, again, you want to have an image title, which again is going to be your focus keyword. And the reason you want this image title is because if they search images only, you want to make sure that your image pulls up with the same information that your focus keyword for your page is. Because if they pull up your image with that focus keyword, if they double click your image on any of the search engines, it takes them to the page that that image is associated with. So that's why it's important to make sure your keywords are related or are on your images as well. And then you're going to click in open on a new link, open in a new link. And anytime you go in any of your finished products, and even if you don't modify or change anything, always click update, because you just never know, something might disappear inadvertently and you're not aware of it. So does that answer any questions or the questions you had about how to get blocks and image information?
Yeah, it did. I have one other kind of related.
Okay.
If I've done a page in the original classic,
Mm-hmm.
and I put the picture in the way you just showed, do I have to do anything to take that out before I can use it otherwise, or do I just go and treat it like it's brand new?
You can if you've already got your information in there, and you go in here and you update it, just like with this one, Quick Easy Meals. This is actually for one of my delivery services that delivers pre-made food. If you are in Classic, you can see right here, I'm in Classic block. You don't have to do anything else. You can leave it in Classic. It's done. You don't have to convert it, because if you convert a Classic block to regular block, your pictures are not going to be where you want them, and you can get them back.
Good, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So if you've done one like this and you've already got your links in it, you're done. If you're in Classic block, you're done. You don't have to do anything else to it. You don't have to convert it to anything else. All you got to do is just position your pictures to where you want it to go.
Okay, that's going to save me a lot of time.
Yeah, it does. When you, especially if you're already starting to write in block, the one thing you have to realize is that your page defaults to the new block format. So when you get your title in and you start typing or writing, just remember it converts to a paragraph block. If you want to write in Classic from the beginning, you have to select Classic from the beginning before you type your first letter. If not, it's just going to put it in a paragraph block. And I'm okay with that to get started with. But sometimes if I want to go in and, put a video or something in, I might start out, with something different. But because I knew basically the way I wanted my page to flow, I was okay with starting off with the paragraph block.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Question.
Yes.
Sheila?
Yeah.
Is there any way to get, either in Classic or in block form, to get your script in justified status?
No, we cannot change our font format. That's the only, and see, that was one of the features they took away in Classic. In Classic, we could change our font. Now, only thing you can do is change over here. You see where it says text size? That's about the only thing you can change. You cannot
I just think it looks more professional if you can have it justified where you got a nice margin on each side.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. They have it preset with the programming and the style that our theme is set up in, which is the Leslie theme. Everything is already pre-programmed based on the theme that we use. So that's the only thing that, is that you can't really mess with. So we have to work within the parameters that our theme is set in, that comes with our program. Like I said, it kind of stinks. You can't adjust your margins. You can't change. But, you have to work with what we have. Hopefully along the lines that, they might do some updates. We harped on them enough that they got us the classic block. So you just never know with the updates. They might come back in and give us access to different fonts and different things like that. So, all righty. So the next thing we're going to do is your picture. So one of the things, as you can see, I actually use this one is an image block, the same thing. You're going to put your alternative text here. You're going to have your link to setting and open in a new tab. And then as you can see down here, when I did the wine, I put the picture right here. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. So this is how it looked before. So let's say I wanted to put the image here, and I'm using a classic block. So you can see here I'm using classic. And say I wanted the image here in this empty space instead of up here in the front. So all I do is put the cursor exactly where I want the image to show up. Then I'm going to come up here to my image and media icons. And since my picture is already in there, all I'm going to do is just choose my picture. And I'm going to insert it into page. Now it's going to put it in at the dimensions that I copied that picture in. All right, where'd you go? Come on. Make sure it putting it in. Oh, don't do this to me. It's going to tell me I got to update my page because I didn't shut it down last night. So let's get update. Okay. All right, let's see if it'll do it now. We're still saying it's saving, so it probably needs me to log back in. All right, so now we're back up. All right, so now let's see if it'll let us put it in there. There we go. So you see how big it is. And I know from the beginning I don't want it there. So number one, I'm going to go ahead and set my alignment. This is where you set your alignment. When you, excuse me a minute. Got a frog in my throat. So when you get a picture, it puts it exactly where your cursor is. As you can see, it put it exactly at the end of the word taste. So I want to align it to where I want it to appear. So I want it to go to the right, but I do not want it that big. So I'm going to make it smaller. And let's see, not quite that small. And I'm going to go ahead and hit preview. Let's see if it shows me my preview. Usually when you've already posted a picture or posted a page, if you hit preview, it won't show your changes until you hit update. So let's see if this one did it this time. Nope. So So I'm gonna have to come here and hit my update. If your page is in draft, when you click preview, it will show you anything that you're doing. But if you are on a published page and you're updating it, you have to update any changes before it will show you and preview your changes. I can actually close this one up. Okay, so now let's look and see how that picture looks. Okay, so it is showing where basically I want it to show, but it's still a little bit bigger than I want it to be. So I'm just going to come back here and make it just a tad smaller. And then let's do our update, and let's do another preview. And you always want to click this preview, not this one, because this one will open up on top of your edit page, and you don't want to do that. You want to always open it in a new tab so that you can toggle back and forth between the page you're working on and your preview page. So always click your preview up here so you don't open over your page you're working on. So then we're going to be able to see how that looks.
I have a question about CJ affiliates.
Okay, let me finish this and we'll get to it.
Oh.
I promise you. All right, so that looks a little bit better. Let me see how it is in relation to my other one. So there's diagonal from each other. I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here, and I want to make sure I get my link. So I'm going to go to my direct sellers. And I'm going to go to shop. Yes, I'm 21 again. And I'm going to go to shop. And as you can see, direct sellers, that's my link right there. That's my ID number. So anything I pull up in here is going to be my number. I'm going to click on this Lazy Lab right here that I want, this rosé. And as you can see right here, here's the link to that bottle of wine, which I want the direct link to. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to come here and do edit, and I'm going to put quick, because that's my focus keyword. I'm going to click my link to settings to custom URL. I'm going to paste my link in there for that bottle of wine. My image title attributes is the same thing. And I'm going to open this in a new tab. And then I'm going to hit my update. So now my picture is linked to that specific bottle of wine in my direct sellers. And because I did a snippet on that, they can actually see the cost of it. They can see the where the wine came from, what was bottled, how much the cost is, but it also shows them the member cost. And they're going to be like, what's the member cost? All right, whoever just unmuted themselves, please mute yourself again. Okay. So that's how you would go about, getting information from your direct sellers. Also, for those of you that are not aware of your direct sellers, you can also, give them just your basic direct sellers link, or you can link it to your page and have them go to your Fine Wines page. So however you want to market that, that's totally up to you. If you wanted to make it an internal link, you can. Whenever you're doing to your wine, you can take them to your wine page and let them read it. Or you can, like I just did, I want them to go straight to my direct sellers, because this is basically about, like here, this is my wine. I directed them to an internal link to my wine club page. So that's, how I took care of that. And I want it in red. I don't want it in blue. So I'm going to come back up here and change. All right, somebody keeps unmuting themselves and has some terrible background noise. So please, if you're not talking, just mute yourself. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So we're going to minimize this picture a little bit. Okay, so then we're going to update. So that's basically how you would get your pictures. in there, how you would get them linked, no matter if you're in the classic block or if you're doing a media block. Like I said, classic block works really great for when you want to wrap around text around images. Even though we do have a media block, that works really well. But if you have, you know, the media block, you just have to play with it on your sizing and your word text to get it to wrap around exactly the way you want to. You also need to remember when you use a media and text block, you can't link your picture. You can link your text, but you can't link your picture. So there's some downfalls to some of the blocks that we use. So just be aware of that, just like with the button. If you use the button icon where you actually can type, click here, or, you know, go here or whatever, or register now, however you want to type in your button, that you cannot open that particular block in a new tab. So that's why I always save it if I'm going to use that as the very last thing, because it takes them totally away from my page. So there are some blocks with some flaws in it, but that doesn't mean you can't use them. They're still good blocks to use. All right, so someone had a question about CJ. Wait a minute, did that answer the questions about how to wrap your text before we go to the next one? Just unmute yourself. Hold on, let me unmute everybody.
Yes, that answered mine, Sheila. Thank you.
All right. Okay, perfect. So now someone was asking about CJ.
Yes, I wanted to know, because you said that when you click on search, it tells you everything that you are approved for. I wanted to know, how do you apply for additional?
Okay, so when you go to CJ, it always pulls you up in your dashboard. If you just click on the CJ, you know, it pulls you up to your dashboard. You can, I could have done it from that page. If you go up here to advertisers, it lists all the advertisers that CJ has in their marketing house. And if you do like I did from the very beginning, when I didn't know anything, I just went through, oh, somebody bought something, yay! So if you just go through and you will see where it says join program, just click join program and it will give you one or two options. It will say, well, actually it's three. It will tell you welcome aboard, you know, or you've been approved. It will say this company has the right to look at your profile, or it will tell you you're denied. Don't worry about the ones that say denied. You can always come back. And you can just look through, you know, they have 2,700 different companies in here. And there's not a whole lot that I haven't joined. Like this one, every time I click on it, it gives me, the last time I clicked on it, it said this vendor has the right to do approve. So let's see what it says today. So I just click join. See, it tells me that every time. And you just hit close. And then you go down to the next one and you just click join and you see what it tells you. See, it has the right to do that. Hit join. Domain, and see, I don't usually do a lot of computer stuff because if I want them to get a domain, I want them to go through Rory. And then you have to look here. This is the one thing you need to pay attention to, because this one right here, it doesn't pay in US dollars. This is pays in another type of money. So you also have to look and see where these companies are marketing, where they have access to market, because some of them are only in different countries. Some of them, there's actually places in here you can only market to Canada. They pay in Canadian dollars. CJ will convert it to US dollars. Sometimes there's a conversion fee. Sometimes there's not. So you always want to make sure you pay attention on how your commission's paid. So we're going to hit here because I could always use some more. See, all right, mattresses. Oh yeah, we can try some mattresses. All right, I don't want to use that one. All right, so then you have these where it says you have to read their stipulations, their overviews. I I've applied for this one several times too. It's like a DNA check, and sort of like Ancestry.com. So just overview, and then you click accept, and then you hit continue. And again, they still have the right to look at me. They give me that all the time. Mattresses, see, this one is a brand new company. You can see it has nothing here other than how much commission they pay. So if you see there's no network earnings, that's how you know it's a new commission here on CJ. They don't even have enough to even disclose what their potential earnings could be. Okay, this one's a new men's line. This one always denies me. Oh, it didn't that time. Okay. So that's how you would have to do. And like I said, like, see, this one is CZ. This is in check. So if you want to look and see what their parameters are, you just click on it and it will tell you exactly where it's at. You can see this is a Czech Republic and Slovakia. Those are the only places you can advertise this for. They are the only serviceable area. You see the whole information is in Czech. So you can't even hardly read it. It does convert it here into English, tells you what it is, but that doesn't say you can't advertise. You just need to know where you can advertise. It's camping and hiking equipment, but you can only advertise in these countries, which it specifies. You can only advertise in this area. Sometimes they will give you, once you get approved, they will actually supply you with keywords to use. Sometimes I use some of their keywords. It just makes it easier than searching once you get approved for them. But that's how, if you want to see, if you want to even market for these companies, you can always just read their information. Just click on the actual company name. So I'm going to have to mute again because that background noise just is really disturbing. So, like inkjets, like this one, it's all over the United States and Canada. So since we are opening in Canada, then that would be a good base for me to look into. Again, you have to read the conditions. Basically, they all say the same thing, what you can and can't use. You know, how you cannot use their name in any form, fashion in your link or in your keywords. So everybody's going to tell me that they got to wait. I don't want software. Thought I had that one. Okay. So that's about it. There's some health exercise equipment. So everybody's got to manually approve me at some point in time, which is different because when you first get started, a lot of them will deny you. So just be aware of that and don't get discouraged. You can always come back and apply again. There's no set time on how many times you can apply, how many times you can come in here and, you know, accept different things. That's a France. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to try one more. Home appliances. Okay, that really didn't tell me what I couldn't do as far as advertising. Okay. Accept and see if this one said mine's been declined again. So they don't give you any specific reasons, but if you go check your email, they do have an email up here. When you go to log in, there's an email right there. You can go check your email and it will tell you who to contact if you want to find out why you were denied. I don't really care. It'll be all right. So, but that's how you use it. And then once you get approved, you go to your links and go to search. And all the links that you've been approved for will be right there for you to be able to go in and see. And then all you do is just choose the ones that you want. If you have a particular one in mind, you just type in the advertiser here if you know you've been approved for that advertiser. Sometimes if I'm not really sure of my advertiser, I can come down here to my categories and click a category. If I want to do, beauty products and clothing, check my department stores, I can actually click on these and it will basically give me all the affiliates that I have related to that department or that category. And then that way I don't have to search for a particular name. Same thing, say I want to do, gift ideas, then I can do my beauty, I can do clothing, my department stores, I can do entertainment, I can do food and drink and gifts and toys, so that would sum up and just, click all of those and it will show me every affiliate that I've been approved for within those categories that I can make a page with. Or if I've already made my page. Same thing here with seasonal. If I click on this is usually if people are running ads for whatever the different holiday is or different promotions. You can click on that and it will pull up all the vendors or all the affiliates you have that are running specials or seasonal sales. So that's just one way that you can, find what you're looking for. If you don't really know exactly what you're looking for, but you know a category that it could be in. So that's how you would use CJ. It's one of the bigger and better paid out programs. But again, sometimes it is hard to get approval for it because they are the bigger name brand companies. So does that answer the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And ClickBank runs the same way. I'm gonna go ahead and let's open up ClickBank. I actually was using ClickBank the other day when I wrote my my Halloween page on my Halloween costumes, and you have to check ClickBank periodically because these are starter stores or mom and pops kind of vendor things. I don't use it a whole lot, but I do know that there are some things in here that, can be beneficial. And I knew they had costumes in here. And the same thing, if you're not real sure, but you know a category that you want to look for, you can come here and click on categories. Same thing, green products, we have the solar panels. I did one yesterday. I was looking at cooking food and wine. There have things in here on how to make wine, on how to create your own beer. They actually have new keto products in there. They have new diet plans. They have cookbooks because I was looking up for some cookbooks. Had some great cookbooks in here. But when I wanted to look up costumes, I just typed in Halloween, and it pulled up, candy. Here's the Iron Man suit. It was gone for a while. It's back again. So if you're looking for the Iron Man suit, there it is. But it'll pull up stuff that's totally not related to it at all. But it will pull up, different things for kids. Here's, but for the most part, it will pull up, different things, not necessarily exactly what you're looking for. So I can type in, and you can use different terms that you want to look for. Like this one says fashion history. If I use this one, getting great reviews on that page because people's asking me, oh, you can do a flapper dress in an hour. You do know one of our associates wrote this book. She has it on here. There's her website that she is promoting that book. Here's one that's belly dancing, not necessarily a costume, but, could be something somebody might be interested in. But for the most part, there was only one or two things in here that I could find that I wanted to use. So there's not a whole lot of stuff in here. There is, but it just depends on what your subject matter is. But you can usually find what you're looking for in here. And you just want to make sure that you check it periodically because they'll take a vendor down and not tell you, and it'll go to a broken link all of a sudden. The Alice in Wonderland, it comes and goes about every few months. So we just took it off our website because we never knew when it was going to be active and when it wasn't. The 101 Alice in Wonderland quotes. It shows up about every 3 or 4 months, and then it's gone again. So, but that's how you use ClickBank. And if you wanted to find one, like, you just click on your promote, and you don't have to do a tracking. It automatically assigns your nickname, which is whatever your login name was, and then you just click generate a hop link, and then there's your link. And sometimes it will change. It's not like CJ where your link's the same as long as you click on the same banner or the same ad. This one does have a tendency to change. You could come in here this week and it'll be this, and click on the same ad next week and it'll be something totally different. But it will always have a relation with whatever your login is. But it just depends. I don't know why they change them, but sometimes they change them. And then you just put that in your link with your information. Okay, does that help on explaining how to use the different marketing houses? Yes. Okay, good. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do some posting. And I wanted to go over some modification of pages, but I think we might do that next week because I want to ask one of my students. I got a couple of new students and I want to use their page. I don't ever go into a student's page or site without their permission because it's still their site. So I want to make sure that I have their permission to use their website as a training tool before I do that. So next week we will go over how to do some modification of paragraphs and things that way. So I'm going to pull up my newest template that I have, my template page. I haven't gone in yet, started categorizing them yet. So I'm going to pull that up, and I am going to come here.
Sheila, do you want me to unmute?
You're fine.
I know you said you wanted me to unmute. That's why I was asking.
Oh, no, I just unmuted everybody to make sure they had questions, if they had any questions. Yeah, you're good.
I sent you I sent you a question, and I was wondering if you were going to cover that or not.
Let's see. Yes, we can. And yes, my trainings are only on my YouTube. My recordings are only on my YouTube page. And I'll give that link out in the chat room. So, yeah, what James was talking about is keywords, and keywords are the key to your web page. When I first started, I just was like, okay, this sounds good. I'll use that. And my pages wouldn't get indexed. So you want to make sure you're using keywords that people are using. Paul has a good program called Jaxie. Why is my page looking all funky?
You might have to mute us again.
Yeah, there's some background noise. People, please be respectful of not only me teaching, but other people. If you have any kind of background noise, running water, TV on, children playing, dogs barking, please mute yourself because it does come through on the training call. And for me, it comes directly into my ear and it kind of throws me off my thinking a little bit. So if you're not actually asking a question, if you could just mute yourself, it will be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. So what we do is I actually have a template of keywords, and Jaxie is one of the programs Paul uses all the time. He actually posted on his Thursday webinar some of his keywords. I've used keywords. Jaxie actually has a free program where you can go in and actually look, get 10, I think it's 10 free searches for keywords. Where are my keywords? I'll find out which folder. See, this is why it helps if I had them in a new folder. I've got a folder that says keywords. What's that?
Are you going to explain the how to use it?
Well, on Jaxie, it's let's see if I've used. I can go to. I don't know. I gotta fix that. I don't like that. So let's go to Jaxie, and that's how you spell it.
I know you're going to explain it, Sheila, but Jaxie is really good because it shows, maybe everybody knows this, but it shows you how many are looking at that title, and then it shows you, oh, guess what? This title you've got a better shot at. I mean,
yes,
it does. That you understand.
It does. And these things mean something. Like this is one I looked up, quick dessert recipes, which is going to be my next topic. So if you look at it, you can see how many average people are looking for this particular keyword search in Google. This is how many people's looking for it. All right. This is how many people you can generate coming to your site on a monthly basis using that keyword out of these people. This is how many people actually have websites using that keyword. So that's a pretty darn good ratio. Out of 3,000 people that's searching,
absolutely.
Out of that 3,000 people, 500 potentially come to my website, and there's only 149 websites using that keyword. So what you want to do is you want to look for the ones that have the highest traffic coming in, but the lowest QSR. You might only have 10 or 15 people that can come in, but guess what? Once you get indexed well, those 10 or 15 people will multiply. Because I promise you, my pages that are now on page 2, when I first got that keyword, there was hardly nobody getting on it. So that's why it's indexing, is because the ones that are searching for it are finding me. So you want to be like this one. This is not a very good, even though it says it's a good ratio, you got half and half. So it's based on, it could be, it could not be, but you got, 293 people searching. 50 people out of that could come to your site, and you got 127 people or websites using this same keyword. Here's another one that's really good. Even though you got 64 people that's going to be searching, you only got 5 people using this keyword.
Yeah.
So that would be a wonderful keyword to use. You're like, well, I'm only going to get 11 people to come to my site. Those 11 people will come to your site. Google picks up and says, oh, they got people moving. You will move from page 10 to page 6 to page 5 to page 2, because they will consistently come. And by you being higher index, more people will see your page. Some of these other people that see it, because when you click Google, they also give you suggestions. Here's another key search. Here's another key search. They give out these other key searches that you can click on. Well, guess what? One of these could be this key search. And guess what? Your page is going to be on number 2 with this key search. So boom, you got another set of people looking at your keyword. So this program costs $50 a month. It is a little pricey. There's a way to get around it. It's not always good, but if you have some extra money laying around 1 month, go in, pay for it for a month, type in all the keywords you can get, print them out or save them in a folder, and then after the month's over, cancel your subscription, because you can cancel it anytime. And then you have a ton of keywords that you can use at your disposal, and it will give you all of this information on here. That's something you can do if you're not financially able right now. Paul has a list on Google Docs. He actually printed it on his website the other day. On the training webinar, that you can have access to go in and look at it. I'll actually post it.
That's the one you sent to me, I think, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So the question and the goal is basically the information that we have for those who are new students here is the focus key phrase, which is a key word, right?
Yep.
Is to go in and change that focus key phrase to where it's going to attract the certain number of people a month, which is going to move you up the Google pages, because you've actually changed
Exactly.
key phrase as well as you've modified the page.
Exactly.
And
Now,
so
some of the keywords we don't want to change, like on our Fine Wines page, you don't want to change that, you know, for the anchor offers. But anytime you're creating brand new pages that you want to use, or even modifying some of the other ones that are not associated with our anchor offers, you do want to look up new key phrases. And you want to look up new keywords. Just don't think because it's something that you think is a great keyword that it's going to be a great searchable word or phrase. That's not always the case. So,
and Sheila, do you want to keep the Valentis keywords as well?
Yes. Any of your anchor offers, you want to keep those. Now, the other ones, you can go in and change those. And the reason you want to keep your key phrases and focus keywords on your anchor offers is because we want to build up awareness of those pages. And then that way people have a variety to look at. And that's where your modification comes in on which one they choose. But you want to make sure those anchor offers, you keep those key phrases in there because they are there for us to bring awareness to our wine and our coffee pages. But any of the other pages, you can change anywhere you want to. Okay? So that's how you would use.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. That's how you would use this, or even if you get access to Paul's document. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Let me get my references.
I think this would also help for those who are working towards Google AdSense by having the focus key phrase different from what is already there. That would definitely, that's original content because it's a different word.
Yes, most definitely. Well, I got to remember what I saved it under there. No, it's terrible when I got so much stuff. I can't remember my own stuff.
Let's see if I can help you.
I got it. Here it is. So I'm just going to pull this up. And no, that's not it. I must have it on my student sheet. Yeah, I got it on my student sheet. There it is.
You found it?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to post this in the chat, so make sure y'all copy the chat.
Yeah, that's
at the end before we get off, so you'll be able to see that. And he has a lot of keywords in there that you can use. But this, like I said, this is a great program because it gives you so much information on you know, the different ones. Even though this one has 149, it's still, you got this much traffic. It's still a great keyword. This is still a great keyword. So now I just got to decide which one I want to use based on the information that I have here. So that's
the SEO that's up there at the top.
Yeah.
Is that the score for that word, for that key phrase?
Yeah, that's the SEO for Google. So
for Google, okay.
Yeah, for Google. It's just like your SEO for your page. This is the SEO for Google, and it tells you what it is, you know.
Okay.
So this is basically telling you how high you are to rank on the first couple of pages on Google if you use this word. So same thing with our website.
That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so do they have a trial that you can do for 30 days, or is it automatically
you get 10 for you get 10 searches.
Oh,
10 free searches. Yeah,
10 free searches.
10 free searches. And then once those are over, then you see, like this one, I still have 24 out of 30. It says 30 searches. So I still have 24 free searches left before I decide if I'm going to up. And more than likely I am, because I use it all the time. And I just have to narrow down exactly what I want to advertise or how I want my direction of my page before I come in here and do a search. You don't want to say, okay, what do I want to type about? You know, what I want to write about, and come in here and use all 30 searches trying to find one keyword. So narrow down what your title is going to be and what you want to talk about before you come here and look for your keyword, because you don't want to waste your keywords searches if you're going to do the free ones just trying to find out what you want to write about. Go ahead and have your topic in mind so that when you come there and you do the free trial, that you don't waste them trying to find the perfect keyword, that you already have a direction that you want to go. So now I have my page here that I want to promote. I'm going to make sure I got all my updates in. And I want to make sure that I have a feature image. So I'm going to click off the actual content so that my document side shows. So you just click anywhere that's not in a block and it converts to your document so you can see your visibility. You're going to click here. If you know, some people's like, well, I don't know where my permalink is, because this is not your permalink. Because you are the administrator of your site, you will always get administrative links up here. You don't want to do that. That's not what you want to advertise. You want to come here to where it says permalink under your documents, and there's your permalink right there. That's the one you want to advertise, is your permalink. You want to try to set a feature image so that when you post to your social media, you have an image you want displayed. If you do not have a feature image that meets the parameters of your social media, they will assign one based on the images in your website or based on the images on your page you're advertising that closely gets to their image criteria. And it might not necessarily be the image you want to show or represent your page. Even though you're going to have good images in your page, that may not be the one you want to represent your page or your website as a whole. So if you can set a feature image, you want to do that. Canva is a great program that you can use that actually has a program for social media marketing images. And you can go in there and select Facebook, you can select Instagram, and they will have pictures that you can make that fits their parameters and set those as feature images. And that's what I've done so that this image shows up. Now, some of my pages I want discussions on. I want people to give me feedback on. So if you want people to leave a comment or have access to leave comments on your page, click on discussion, and you click this tab right here that allows comments. And it will actually put a comment section on the bottom of your page where people can reply or leave comments on. You don't want to do that with every page, but there's some page, like I have one that's got a running discussion now on appropriate clothing for or age appropriate clothing. I want people to comment on that. I want to see exactly what they write, because you know what? Those comments are going to lead me to another article or another page based on opinions of that one article. And it also gives people that want to come back and read if somebody read their comment or commented on their comment. So I have people coming back to that same page constantly. Well, I want to see what they said. I want to see who said something else. And then they reply. It's almost like another Facebook link, because then they reply on that reply. But guess what? They're still coming to my website. They're still reading, and I will update it periodically based on what people say. I've actually put 2 new clothing lines in there, and it's like, hey, well, what do y'all think about this? And I'm getting comments, not only on Facebook, but also on that page. So you can actually have that option. And if somebody gives something negative, a negative comment, guess what? You can take it out because you're the administrator. You can remove it. You can hide it, just like you do on Facebook. If somebody gives a negative comment on your Facebook page, you can remove it or hide it. It doesn't have to be seen by everybody else on your feed. So
you have to be careful, because if you're as cute as Sheila, you'll be asked to get married. I mean, she's got 2 or 3 proposals every month.
Second husband.
I do. And he laughs about it. Trust me. I tell him all the time. But that's with anything you do. Trust me. I told him, I said, I think I'm going to put his picture on my social media page. See if it quits. So that's what you can do on how you can actually get all your information from here. So I'm going to go to the top of my page, and then I'm going to come back to my ad page, And I'm just going to start with my headline. And I'm just going to create 2 or 3 headlines. And one of them is going to be exactly what my title is.
I don't hear any humming.
My dog is over here going crazy in his bed. I don't know what he's just scratching his pillow, like he's fluffing his pillow, and I'm sitting here trying. It's like there's no more stuffing left in the pillow for you to fluff. So Herc, quit. So anyway, all right. Let's see. All right, I think that's cool. That's enough to get started. All right, and then I'm going to put my description. If I can spell. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my link.
Quick, easy meals in minutes.
And get started with yours today at, and there. So we're going to save that. And then I'm going to leave this up and we're going to come here. And the first place I want to go to is we're going to do our Facebook. And since it is, I'm come here to my folders for Facebook. All right, and I'm going to go to my home.
I see why they
You
get those proposals because of that picture, Sheila. Come on.
Hey, I had to use it. I paid money to get to look like that for one day.
Wow.
That was my cousin's wedding. She had us all made up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to here and I'm going to grab my description that I had. And I'm going to go back to my Facebook.
Now you're going to put the link in that?
On Facebook, I'm going to go right straight to the link. This is one that I don't. I put it in the comments, but this is one I'm going to put in there for 2 reasons. Is because it actually has my invite to our Wednesday wine and dine. And I'm just going to post it to my news feed. I'm not going to go to my story, but if you have these options, you can actually post it to your story. And then that way, not only do your friends see it, but everybody in public that you have, that they can actually share it. Then I'm posting it to my news feed. And actually, I want to do my animation. So I'm going to take this picture out.
Animation.
Yeah, I have, with my Canva, I actually have the upgrade for animation. So I'm going to put my animated program in there.
So it's going to be moving.
So I just got to see if it's still in my downloads. I might have to actually go and bring it over.
That's unbelievable.
So when did I do it? This one. I think this is it.
Okay. So if you were doing something like fine wines delivered to your door, then you would put it in the comments, right?
Yeah, I put it in the comments. So this is my animation. So then I'm going to hit post. And so it's processing my video.
Is there a way to test the animation before posting it?
It showed up. I knew it worked. I know it works.
Okay, no, I'm just curious.
Yeah, usually when you click on it, it will show what's happening to it. But because it's a video, it takes it a while to process.
Okay.
Or even a GIF, it takes it a while to process it. I know I posted it earlier in the week, and it took it a few minutes before it showed up. They will always send me a notification saying my video is ready, and I can see it. Let's see. There's my beautiful cousin.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah.
Runs in the family.
Yeah. She and I have our grandmother's eyes green. We grew up. We grew up as sisters. Her, me, and my sister. We were together all the time. That's her crew. She calls them her crew. She's a mess. Let's see if I can find where I posted that earlier this week. Yeah, there it is. So see how it works. Let's see if it'll do it again.
What is it?
It's very fast. I tried to get it to slow down, but it wouldn't. So.
Oh, okay. It does it like that.
So it basically, and that's what it's going to show up as soon as it tells me it's finished. It's going to show up the same way.
Still loading.
So, but that's the one I posted. Well, no, that's the one I just did. So cool. 1 minute ago. So it's good. So there's that one. So it's on my social media. Let's see. Okay, what do you mean, Linda, the picture I deleted? The one with the wine on my page? Just unmute yourself and Miss Linda, can you unmute yourself, or do you need me to? Let's see. Okay, let's see if I can unmute.
I had a question about the Facebook. Are they going to charge you for that?
No, Facebook does not charge you unless you set up a business account or you promote it. And if you promote it, then they charge you for the promotion based on how many people you want to view it. But you never get charged with Facebook for any post unless you promote it or you are set up as a business.
Yeah, that's what they've been trying to do to get me to go into business with them, I guess.
No, you don't have to. If you just got a personal account, you can do whatever you want to. Now, there are some times that I will promote a business, a link that I have. Like I'm thinking seriously about promoting the one I have for Halloween. because I have so many different things in there, and I might actually promote the one that I have, that I'm doing now, for the simple fact that it is a good hot topic. And with the holidays coming up, I have a crock pot recipe in there, and I'm getting ready to put a soup recipe in there for football season. So it just makes a great tool for people to search. I just got to decide on when I want to do it to get the optimal benefit out of it. But you always, when you do a promotion, you want to set a limit so that if you don't, they will jack your price up. I mean, you could be spending thousands of dollars before you realize it. So you always, I never go past $30. It's like $30 is my maximum that I'm going to spend. And once I hit $30, they tell me you've hit your $30 limit. We're charging your card. And that's it. If you don't set a limit, they will continue to run it and charge you until you finally say, oh, stop, that's enough. And you get a bill for like $500-600. So you always set a limit if you decide to promote anything, but you do not have to at all.
Linda says she doesn't have a mic.
Okay.
Oh, Linda doesn't have a mic.
All right, so let's see.
Well, I'm seeing your post here, Sheila.
The one with the horse and food.
Yeah, you just posted it.
What's the one with the horse and food? Okay, I'm trying to figure out the.
Oh, it's when you put in the image.
The Canva one?
No, what she did is she first had it, and then she went to her Canva and put in the animated.
Oh, when you're in your social media, let me get back in there. You can always do any picture that you have up there. There's an X. You can actually X out of it without getting rid of your information. So even when you're on your social media, you see these 3 dots up here, just like we have 3 dots on our page. This is where you can go in and edit, and you can edit your post.
Yeah.
And you can go in there and you can actually click off this video. You can get rid of just about anything that you have. You can, get rid of it. You can, X out of it. You can change it. It's really, completely in your hands how you want it to be viewed. And you can actually remove the whole post. You can come here and say that like my in-laws are very adamant about me promoting wine. They always put negative comments whenever I do that. So whenever I post a wine, anything dealing with wine, I exclude them from that, being able to view that particular post. But anything else I put out there, I make sure that they are out of the exception. So if there's certain people that you don't want to view that are on your friend list, you can actually come in here and put exceptions, that when you do a post, you don't want them to see that particular post because they're going to be, put something negative on it. And I know they always do. It's just funny when they do it. It's really hilarious. But yeah, you can come in here and edit, and you can take out anything that you put in there. If you just want to remove the whole post, you can delete the whole post. If you just want to delete the picture, you just, click on your 3 dots and tell it exactly what you want to do. You can hide it from your timeline. You can delete the whole thing. You can turn off notifications, that people, can write on it. Anything you want to do, save your video. If you want to save this to put over here in your pictures for you to be able to use at a later date, you can do that. So you can always, do just about anything you can to modify right there. Let's see. Oh, how I created that picture was through my Canva. So let me X out of here. And I actually pay for the upgrades on Canva. It's $12 a month. I can afford $12 a month for the upgrade. And I just come in here and just grab one of my pictures that I've created. So I come here and just look at all of my designs. And I had created that design before. So there's my design. And just like any of the designs I have, I can do that with. And all I did was, let's do this one. This one would look funny. haven't done anything with that one. So if I do that, and then I'll just click here where it says edit my video. And it's one of the annotations that I have access to. So it's going to pull up that in edit mode, which is, you know, with anything that we have, you have those options. And because I have the upgraded for Pro, I can come here and it gives me the options. I can post this to my Facebook if I wanted to, straight from Canva. If I wanted to download, if I wanted to send it to Twitter, I can send it to Pinterest, hit show more. I can send it to Tumblr. I can actually make it a presentation. I can email it to people. I can send it to my Google Drive, Dropbox, you know, all the different places I can do it. I can send it to my LinkedIn page, MailChimp if somebody has that. And then here's my annotation or animation. And I just click on that and it shows me my picture when it comes up. And then I have the different options of what I want to do to it. So let it load. And then here's my different animations. I can do fade, which it just kind of comes and goes. It's not really much. I can do pan, you know, and it tells me what I want. I can do block, how it shows up in different block patterns. I can do rise, you know, breathe, where it kind of expands, and then you have your slide. My computer's trying to catch up. I got too many tabs open. You know, the breathe, where it just looks like it's taking a breath. Then you have your slide. Come on, catch up with me. So, and then once you get it done, you can download it, whichever one you choose to do. You just hit download and it gives you the option what format, if you want to do it in a movie or if you want to do a GIF. Now you got to remember, if you do the GIF, you can't put it in your website for whatever reason. It doesn't allow GIFs in our website. We can't put those in there. You can download a movie format. So it just depends on where you want to use it, on how you download it and save it. And then you just download it to your folder. And like I said, I put everything in my Dropbox. But this is where I come and create just about everything that I do for my website. Excuse me a minute. And all you do is, like, you can come here with your templates. Let's just get out of that one. We're done with that. So I can come in here and just close out of this. And this is where you can come to your home and it's a free site to start off with. But if you want all the upgrades with the animation and everything like that, you do pay. It's like $12.95 a month. Real simple. But if you want the free site, you can do free. You can do a lot of stuff with the free site. And it does, like, it has social media. And if I want to come here to go to my templates, I just click on templates, and I can browse by category, you know, where you have your posters, you have your logos, where you can create your own logo. You have presentations, you can create flyers, business cards, you know, information things. You can do different, you can even make t-shirts, Instagram stories. This is the one thing you can see, Instagram. Resumes, you can see invitations, wallpaper, you know, just about anything that you want to be able to use, it's here. You can even do your Facebook, social media graphics. You can, you know, so everything is here that you want to be able to make. So if I go here to create a design, it's going to ask me what kind of design do I want. If I do Facebook, I can do Facebook cover. You know, I can do logos, I can do Instagram posts, leaderboard, you know, so it basically will tell you, I mean, you got 50,000 plus different templates you can look through to see what you want to be able to put on there. So like I was telling you before, when you create a feature image, especially if you're going to be promoting to your resume, to your Instagram and Facebook, you want to be able to use these templates, like for your Instagram, or if you want to use if you want to use Instagram post, if you want to use your Facebook, you can do Facebook cover. A lot of people's like, well, what's your Facebook cover? Your Facebook cover is that first picture that people see when they open up your Facebook. It's that background picture. So when people open up the background, this is what they see. This is your Facebook cover. And you want to make sure that your Facebook cover represents you. You don't want it to be, a picture of your dog. You want them to be able to relate to you. So this is my family, but it's also my homepage, my Shop with Mama Chief, because they know that's part of me. But it's my family. It lets them know that I'm a real person, that they know me. So when they come here, they see me, but they also see my business right here. This is what I promote. So they're going to see a montage of these people along with this. So it's important when you do your Facebook cover that you do have, let people see that you are a real person. And so that's one thing that you can do. Even when you're doing your feature picture and you want to do it Facebook, then here's a Facebook post. You can do the same thing there, where you can actually create that picture and everybody will be able to see it. And you choose that picture as your header or as your feature picture. Yeah, Canva is I've used it, Paul uses it. It's just a great feature. It's a great program to use to create pictures. That's the program I use to create my business cards with. And then once I have the image that I want, I just transfer it over to my Avery program for the card so that I can get the card exactly the size that I want it. Same thing with my my labels that I put on my bottles of wine for my gifts, because I actually tie a label card with a lariat, and it has, beads for them to use, has a little, depending on what kind of mood I'm in, it might have a name tag, a metal name tag that they can use, go around their wine glass stem, or it might just have, just like a little eagle feather, metal eagle feather, sterling silver, attached with the business card, just a little trinket for them that they can use. It might have a hair tie with it on the lariat with the beads on it. So it's just different things that you can use this for. Here's where I've created my flyer that I made that we use today. And anything that you can use, you can put it, if you can think of it, you can put it on Canva. You can get it on Canva. So it's just a great program. And like I said, the initial program's free. There's no limit to how many you can create. Some of the templates you do pay for, but if you have to pay for them, it will tell you. It will say that there's a fee, or this one costs, so and so. I think the most I've seen on a template is like $3 if you want to buy the template. Most of them are $1, but still there's a lot of free ones out there that you don't need to buy anything for. So, so that's how you use that. No problem. All right, good job. So now we're going to take that same post, and I'm going to go to my ad sites, and we're going to go to classifieds for free. Hopefully it's working today. And I know Bruce was talking about how can you see if somebody's visited your site. Well, on classifieds for free, we're going to go to my ads, and so you can see what my ads look like. So these are some of the ones that I posted a few, actually last week, and they are starting to get hits now. And this will tell you right here where it says views. This tells you how many times people have viewed your website or viewed your ad, not necessarily clicked your website. If you want to see how many times your website's actually being clicked and they went to see your link, then that's where you would check your dashboard. Unless you got Google Voice, then, not Google Voice, unless you got Google AdSense, then they will actually show you click ratios for your website. So this is an ad, it's a week old. I think it might be 2 weeks old. and it's just now starting to get some good hits, some good feedback on it. It usually takes a good 2 to 3 weeks before your site or your ad to get some really good feedback to it, because it takes it that long to get it circulated to the different places. So you want to make sure that when you come here and you see like these zeros, don't take your ad out. It just means it's not been circulated properly. Or it hasn't gotten to all the different places it needs to get to. All right, I hear somebody chewing and munching. If you would mute yourself, thank you, unless you have a question. And like you can see, some of them are still zeros, some of them are moving up in the different the number basis. The higher your number, that just means it's getting circulated more. It's becoming aware. People are becoming aware of it, which is a good thing. So,
Sheila?
Yes.
Thank you for showing that. That's what mine looked like, and I thought that they should have a lot more hits or views than that.
Yeah, no, it's just, it just takes it a while to circulate. It is going out there. It's just, depending on what people are looking for. Now, I do have some that are in the hundreds and 200s, but they have been out there for months. So it does take a while to build up. But you don't want to take anything that's zeros out, never, because you just never know. Maybe it hasn't hit the right person. Maybe it's not been hitting the right venue, because there's only certain locations some of these post to. Because I had one that I had a whole line of them that was zero for like a month. I was like, okay, somebody's got to be looking at these, like this one, I got zeros. This one's been out for over a month. And there's still zeros. This used to be all zeros, but now I got one click. So it just takes time for people to search for particular things. So don't ever take your ad down just because you have a zero out there on your views. That just means it hasn't gotten to the hands of the right people. So that's all that means. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to post a new ad. So I'm going to come up here and post ad. And since I know I am doing the places in my website that I am marketing are mainly for the U.S. I don't have too many that will ship outside the U.S. So therefore, I'm not going to do a lot outside the U.S. other than the wine to the countries I know the wine goes to, because you don't want people to click on your links knowing that they can't, and then they find something they like and they can't get it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here. And it automatically defaults to the U.S. So that's going to be my starting point. So I'm going to go back to my template. And I'm going to pull my first header. And I'm going to use this one. And since this was done really quickly, I'll probably come back later and do another description. Because you always want to have at least 2 descriptions per, and that way you can use each headline with a description. So now you want a category. And let's see, what kind do I want to put this in? It's not free. I'm going to put this in miscellaneous for right now. I might come back later and put one in entertainment. But for right now, I'm just going to put this in general merchandise. I thought there was a miscellaneous, but I don't think so. So we're going to put it in general merchandise. Again, I want to put my email address. You don't have to, but I do. And I put my Google Voice phone number. Because I do get people that call me and ask me questions, and I let that go to voicemail. You don't have to answer it. Let it go to voicemail. Guess what? That let Google Voice know, hey, she's got people coming into her website or coming into her Google Voice, and you will not get shut down on your V-marketing. Use that number. And then I'm going to grab this right here, including my link. And I'm going to put it right here. I don't put a price in. And then I'm going to come right here and grab this. And then my images, this is important. Since I already have food images, I want to stick with the images I have. If you don't have an image in here, you can come to the bottom and you're going to click choose a file. And it's going to pull up the last folder you were in or the last file you were in. So you always want to make sure that you go to the folder that you want, that you have your information in, and you click the picture. You can only do one picture at a time. And then you hit upload your image. So I want some relevant images in there that's going to be in my website. So I'm going to choose one more and get my chili bowl. And I'm going to get this one. Well, I want one with wine in it. So let me find the one, this one right here. Looks really good. Is there another one I had? I like this one better. So I'm going to grab this one. And I'm going to upload that image. Now, the other thing that you want to remember when you're using Classifieds for free is that you click on the images in the order you want them to appear. I know some people just go in and randomly click their images. However you click them, that's the way they show up. So I want to click here first. I want to show this, and then I want to get this one to be last. And then you're going to go up here and you're going to hit post my ad or post ad. And then it shows you your ad. And it's got all my information in there. And then boom, there's my pictures, the way I want them to appear. And then here's the key thing. Do you want to post another ad? Yes, you do. And it brings you back to your original ad, exactly the way it is. And all you need to do now is just start going down the different categories or the different states. And you just click post. And it tells you it went to Alabama. Perfect. Post another ad. And we did Alabama. So now I'm going to go to Alaska. Post another ad. And you do this for all 50 states. And it usually takes about 20 to 30 minutes to do all 50 states. Sometimes you can do it faster, depending on how fast your computer is. Arizona. I don't do American Samoa because we do not ship wine there. And you just go and do each one like that. And then after you do all 50 states, if you have time, you want to come back and then do the countries that your program ships to. So I'm going to come back here and change that. And then you're going to go here to outside the US. And I know we ship to Australia. So I'm going to click post ad in Australia. You notice I haven't changed a thing other than where I'm posting. And I'm going to come back here, and I know we go to Canada. So let's find Canada. We're going to post to Canada. And then we're going to go to Germany. Well, we can do England because England's part of the UK, so I can post it in England. And then I'm going to go, and this is all you have to do. Just keep doing this, Germany. And let's do the UK.
How many countries compose of the UK? Scotland, Ireland.
No, not Ireland. It's a particular region in Ireland.
Oh, okay.
It's not all of Ireland.
You missed Scotland.
Yeah, I did. I saw that. I actually have that on my one of my list for where the UK is. I have to go back and see, because I actually looked it up and see what provinces or countries consisted for UK. And I just got to remember where I have it. It might be on this page. But yeah, there's only like 5 different regions that consist of the UK. But I know Rory said that one of the places that they have their eye on is Italy. I think once they get Canada up and running, the next part they're going to be going into is, there it is, England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
So, so you can go back and do those. And we can go to Scotland.
So it's 4.
Mm-hmm. And then once you do the major ones, if you have time, depending on what your time constraints are, after you do that, then you want to start with, you go back to the state, go back to your states. So you post another ad, and then you select your state. So we're going to do California, and then you're going to select your city, and you see all the cities that you have. I always sit down when I do this, and I have a piece of paper, and I put the first letter. So if I know I got 5 A's, then I post it in all the A places, and 2 the B's, so you don't lose your place. Because if you double post, they can kick you out if you get caught. So you don't want to double post the same ad in the same city on the same day. So you come, and then you just do the same thing. You see, I still haven't changed anything. So now it's telling me that it went to that city in California. And this is what I do. I usually do it about an hour a day. And that's all you have to do. I don't think I actually did the state of California. I think I start with Arkansas. And that's how you do that. And you can spend 2 hours here and post 100 ads easy, and not change anything. And the good thing about having this template is that if I come back in 2 days' time, then I have my template and I just go to my next headline. And like I said, I'll come back here and probably make another description, but I'll use this same description with a different headline. I have 3 headlines here. I'll probably make 4 or 5 more headlines and use this description. Then I'll make another description because I'll have time to think about it. This was like a spare of the moment thing. But I'll come back and make another description and use those same headlines with a totally different description. And, so therefore right now I have 6 different ads I can run for this one product and this one website. So that takes up every day I can write this, but you don't want to do the same thing every day. So like tomorrow, I might come back in and redo another one of these because I haven't done all of these yet for my Halloween. Here's my description. Just grab another headline and do a different one, tomorrow. And then, go to your different sites. So then, close that one out. I can go to a different website. And like right here where it says advertise, free advertising, a lot of people will look at this and say, I can't advertise on there. That's, classifieds, where you actually have to, classify for something. And if you create a page, like one of my pages that I have is Mama Chief's Thrift Store. And I actually have clothing in my closet that I can't wear because I've lost so much weight, that my grandkids can't wear because they've outgrown them, that I don't take to the Goodwill. I actually advertise it on my thrift store. So when I go to these classified ad sections where it's asking you to, what are you selling? Okay, I have children's clothing. I have women's clothing, and I put in there women's clothing, fairly new, just outgrown. And I put in there pricing varies. If it asks for a price, if it won't let me put various price as a pricing, I put the most. I put in a range. If it lets me put a range, if not, I put $15 because most of the stuff I have is less than $15. Same thing with the kids' clothing. I'll come in here and I'll do the same thing. Is I'll go in 5 ads. See, this one only lets you do 5 free, so I got to go in and figure out what says you can add 5 more ads. Okay, so since I want to stay within the area, let's see. Because here's the areas that you have to choose from. Sometimes it'll let you choose a different. So let's see, Charlotte. See where it's got for Charlotte. Because if I have to mail it, I don't want a whole lot to mail from, to mail to. So it couldn't find Charlotte, North Carolina. So let's just put in Charlotte. And see, now it's got different Charlottes, and I know it's not the Charlotte I want. So, whatever. So I'm just going to put Charlotte. I don't want it to go to Charlotte Courthouse. And see, it tells you right here, you can't duplicate an ad. Again, I'll put my telephone number right there. Make sure I change this back to Mama Chief, because I don't want them to know my name. My product is going to be food, vegetables. Select the category. Again, it's not going to be agriculture and farming because we're not talking about that. Food and beverages. So there we go. Perfect. Food and beverages. Pricing. We don't have pricing. And here's my description. Oh. So let me go back and grab my description. And then I'm going to get my link. All right, we don't have a YouTube. Again, it's going to allow me to choose a file for my pictures. And I'm not sure if this one has, so I'm going to use the same pictures. In the order I want them to show up. And I want to use go down here and grab my flyer. I'm not a robot. Okay, and then upload ad. All right, so it's asking me to put in a price. Yep, no price. So I'm going to put 0. I don't want it to, because there's really no pricing. So they'll have to ask for pricing. Oh, what is the deal? I'm not a robot.
Well, you gotta let it populate.
Okay, I got it. You use cookies. Okay, I got it. Let's see now. I might have my cookies shut off for this site. Yep, I got my cookies shut off for this site, so I'm gonna have to come back. All right. So it must have put it in there twice because now it says I went from 5 to 7. So usually it will allow you to see your ad once you post it, but because there was a glitch, it didn't let me see my ad. But that's how you can post to classified ads. And this is exactly that. And see, here's my ad right here. It didn't even put my picture in it, but see, boom, there's my ad right there, food and vegetables. United States, Charlotte, and they can send me a message. They got details, but for whatever reason, my picture didn't upload with it, and it could be the size of my pictures, which is fine. I'd prefer to have a picture, but I don't have one. But you can always come up here and, again, go to your account and your ads and manage your ads. And I'm not going to do that right now. It's fine without a picture. But, you know, there's my ads that showed up, which is great. So they can go ahead and see. So my ad's already visible for them to see. And this one you get, I think, 10. I think this is the one. Yeah, see, you have 3 more ads you can upload for free. And so these are the ones that you can come in and, you know, check out and see it posted twice, and I don't want it to post twice, so I need to delete this one. There we go. So see how this one actually posted a picture. So these are all the ones that I've posted so far. This one didn't post my picture either. So there's some, so it could just be the size of my picture. I have no idea what that is. That ain't even my picture. So they threw a picture in there, it ain't even mine, but it's got my link to it. I don't even know what that price is. I need to go check and see what that is. But anyway, so, you know, if I can always come back in here and modify this if I need to change it because it's telling me modify my picture. But this one actually allows you to, and this is advertigo.net, where you can come in here and do ads, like for classifieds ads. Same thing if you go to, what is that one? I can't think of it. It's on the tip of my tongue.
AbleWise? Or?
No, it's a new, it's the classified ads. Oh, gee whiz, I can't think of it. Starts with a G.
Classified ad. Oh, a G.
Dag nabbit. I can't think of it. Anyway, there's all kind of ad sites out there. Craigslist starts with a C, not a G. Craigslist. You can go to Craigslist and do the same thing that I just did here. You know, find your category, advertise, because Craigslist is free. You can do the same thing. It has the categories where you have announcements, you have events, upcoming events. You can go in there if you're having a social in your area, or you want to host a social. You can always advertise it in there. You can, and then put your link in there. You can put your, in your business section, put in your Response Magic code or your Response Magic link in there. You can put in your wine page for a business. You just have to be careful on how you word it. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about is your wording, especially on your social media. You don't want to say, check out my website, because they automatically assume website with shopping and buying. You always want to say, check out my blog or visit my blog, because that's what social media started out with, is blogging. If you say website, they're automatically going to shut you down thinking that you are trying to sell them something. So if you go to them and say, you know, hey, check out my blog, here it is, and put your website in, they will more apt to go and read a blog than they will be to go read a website. So your terminology on how you post things determines also on how many people will actually look at it. If you're going to the free ad sites and marketing, then website is appropriate to use because they know that's what that's for. They're actually coming there to search for something, to buy something. But on your social marketing, on your social media sites, like your Tumblr, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your Facebook marketing, all those different aspects, you want to use the word blog. Read my blog or read my, read what I wrote today. Do not use the word website when you're doing social media because they automatically associate that with buying or somebody selling them something. So when you're on your social media, watch your terminology. You don't want to say sell or marketing or anything. And remember, on your social media, it is just that, social media. You're supposed to be relating about yourself, about what you've experienced, about day-to-day things, not always selling something or always promoting something. So even though I usually put an ad out about, once or twice a week, other than that, it's talking about me. But every picture I post, just about every picture I post, I always try to do at least 2 pictures, and one of them's my logo, is a picture with my logo in it. And I use this one quite often.
Sheila?
Yes.
Could you use one of the articles that you wrote in your blog and advertise that?
Yes, you most definitely. You just want to make sure that when you're writing and advertising on your social media, that you do not use the term website.
What if you've already done it by mistake?
That's fine. Leave it there. I don't go back and change it because they think if you change stuff on your social media after it's been posted, it raises a red flag to people that you're trying to trick them. So if you've done it before, just leave it. It's there. But for going forward, use the word blog. Go back and read my blog. I want you to read my blog. Oh, I wrote about this. This is what happened to me today, or this is what I've experienced today. And I wrote about it in my blog. Go check it out. And then put your link for your website. People relate to that terminology on social media better than they relate to the word website. Go visit my website. I wrote about this today. Because immediately when they hear website, they're thinking, oh, they're trying to sell me something. They just want me to go look at that. But if you've already given them a critique of what your day's been like or what your article's about, and you say, oh, I did a whole blog on it, go check it out and put that on there. You've already piqued their interest. You use the word blog so they know you're just continuing writing what you already wrote about. They're not thinking of selling. They're thinking, oh, that's a good, interesting topic. I want to see what else she wrote about or what else he's referring to. But the minute you use the word website, it just triggers something in people that they're trying to sell me something, and they forget all about what you experienced, that they were interested at first. It just goes out the window. So because social media originally started with blogging, continue with that trend because it eases people's fears that you're trying to sell them something, and they will actually go and read. The reason why my site gets so much popularity, and you can ask anybody that reads anything in my website, is it doesn't read like an ad. None of my websites or none of my pages read like an ad. They read because of the way I talk, the way I relate to people. It reads like a story. Hey, this is what happens. This is what we all experience. You very rarely see in here, hey, I need you to go buy this. Go here and do that. Mine is relating, to a story, my everyday experiences, or what people has taught me or talked to me about. This is a recipe that I've developed over the years that a lot of people use and just embellish on it, add to it. This is a recipe down here that my family has been using for years. And I just wrote it down, never had a title. I just gave it a title. We just call it stew, and I actually have another one I'm going to put in here for a potato soup that we do. So I will just be adding, I don't know if I'm going to add to this one or just make another page for just crock pot recipes. But you see, I've interspersed, different links in here, different things. And I always end up with my wine or one of my anchor offers. Even though I've interspersed wine through here, because this is a food and wine pairing, I always let them know at the end, if it's about weight loss, if I've talked about struggles with losing weight, blah, 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 or healthy nutrition, then this would have been totally different. It would have been a link to my Valentis. But because we're doing wine pairings, hey, you want to know how to get free wine? Ask me how to get free wine. You know, there's my logo to go to my free wine page, but this also clicks. If they click on this link, my picture is linked to Easy Meals, but my quick link goes to my direct sellers page. Go to my direct sellers, read the information there, determine if you want to be a brand partner or customer. Get your free wine. So depending on what your page is, you know, and I finished this page within about an hour to an hour and a half with this. I didn't have to change anything. And that's where you want to get. And the only way you're going to get there is if you're in your website every day. You can't be sporadic and say, oh, I'm going to work in my website today, and you haven't been in it for 3 or 4 days, because it's almost like starting over. You have to be in your website every day. If it's nothing more than going through and updating pages you've already done or creating new pages. If you have an idea of something you want to write about, this button up here, click on pages, create a draft with the title in it so that you can always come back and look and say, now what was that I want to write about? You have your title started, and it will trigger what you wanted to write about, and write about it. Write first, picture second, links last. That's the way I've always done it. And there's been times I promote a page with not one single link in it. It'll have pictures. You always want to have a picture. You always want photo images, because that's what attracts the eye to go to the next topic that you're talking about. But links are always the last thing I put in. Yes, I have an idea of what I want to market or what I want to add with my site most of the time, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just want to vent, or I just got a great idea that I want to get on paper really quickly and have no clue what I want to market it with. That's totally fine. Write what you know, write what you like, and those keywords are come in great. That's why I say get your title, at least get your title. You know what you want to write about, then go do your keyword search. And then if you have to tweak your title a little bit to get that keyword in there, because you want your keyword in your title, then do that. But at least you have a starting point of where you want to look. So that's the one thing that if I can get anything to relate to you, is to make sure that you don't write your articles or write your stories salesy or pitchy. You want them to relate to people. Does that make any sense? Okay.
Yes.
All righty. So that's all I have for today. We went over. Yes.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Just have a question on the Vertigo. You said you get 10 free ads with that. Is that 10 per month or 10 forever?
10 forever. And you go in and change them. I change mine about once every month or so.
You can change them, you said?
Yeah, you can go change them out. You know, you get 10 ads. You can, just like you saw, I deleted one. You just go in and delete and start over fresh. I actually deleted everyone that was in there and started over, because they were some of the first ones I wrote and they were horrible.
So they don't count that you did them before?
No, just 10,
oh, beautiful.
10 current ads. They have to be, you know, if you're current. So if you go in there and delete one, then that means you got one you can add.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And most of them are like that. They say you have so many free. That's just current. So if you go in and delete one, then you still have one you can use. So same thing with AbleWise. AbleWise comes with 10 free. Where's it at?
You can do the same thing.
Yeah,
with AbleWise.
Same thing with AbleWise. You go in, because AbleWise gives you a update every week on your ads, how many times it's been viewed. I just got mine, and I have one of mine that jumped from like 10 to 74. It was one of my Bitcoins that I had ads that I ran in China. It had 74 hits last week. So guess what? I'm going back and taking one of my ads out that's not getting a lot of hits, and I'm advertising Bitcoin again in China and another with another title and another description, because it's getting a lot of hits. So you have, excuse you.
Good night.
That's going to sound great on my recording.
Sheila, question.
Yes.
Can you quickly tell me how to put 4 pictures across like you did on the page? You've told me once before, but I sure didn't get it.
I sure can. Hold on just a minute. Let me get back to this page right here. So this is called a gallery.
Yes.
So you have several different, you can do a gallery, photo, and classic. Same way you can do one in block. So this is just a block format. So if you go to your block, so let me find one where I don't have a picture that I can implement one in there. This picture keeps getting moved down, so I might have to go in there and change that HTML code. All right, there's some noises on here that I really have to mute out. So hold on, I'm just muting everybody. And then if you have a question, you can unmute yourself. So what you want to do is you want to create a gallery, and you just hit your plus button. And in your formatting, you have your formatting right here. It's going to be under layout elements, I think it is. No, it might be under common. Let me see if it's under common. Yeah, so under your common blocks, you have gallery. So if you choose gallery, then you need to make sure that they're in your media library already. If you have to upload them, it's kind of tricky because then you have to use your Control and Shift button to select the photos you want to show in your gallery, or it will just pick the first one you click on. And then you have to do an update to your gallery. So if they're already in your media library, you just click on your media library. And then from there, you can just choose your pictures you want to use. So if we want to choose this one, and it will show you down in the bottom on the ones you chose. Since I'm doing food and wine, let's see if I got some more pictures of food and wine. We can do that. That one. And you can choose how many you want to do, and I'm going to show you how you can change the different ones. You can do that as a wine party. And let's do this one for Christmas. Get ready for Christmas. I don't know why I got those pictures in there twice. So then I'm just going to sit here where it says create a gallery. I'm just going to create a gallery. And then I can rearrange my pictures from here. Say I want to put that there. And then that way I have, you know, a wine, a food, a wine, a party, and then food. Or if I want to show the Christmas first, you know, you can basically just rearrange it however you want to. I want to put the Lazy Lab here. Let's do the food first since we're talking about.
Can you put text in there?
Yeah, right here where it says add caption, you can write your captions here. You just need to remember in this particular instance, when you write a caption, it will show up down at the bottom of your picture. So like here, I can put like healthy.
Okay.
And then.
But those don't have to match your key phrase, right?
No.
Okay.
No, you cannot link your gallery. So, and like this one, I got celebrate with family and friends. That's already a caption that I wrote when I saved that picture. And then here I can put like, and then another one here. All right. And then I'm going to hit insert gallery. And then as you can see, it does 3 on the top and 2 on the bottom. And some people's like, over here, it has your column settings. So if you want more, say you want all 5 of them, you just increase it to all 5 of them. And then you want it to crop the image, and then that way the image is there. And it should be about the same size, or it tries to get the image about the same size so that they all look uniform. And it says link to, but you don't get the option to link it to anything. If it says attachment page, it only is going to link it to the page it's on. Media file, we don't want them to go to our media file, so it's just easier to hit none, that you're not going to link it. And then there's your pictures, and you have your sayings up underneath it, or your caption underneath it. And then if you just want to hit your update, You can see that, and then you go to your preview, and you can see what it's going to look like. Like I said, they try to get the pictures, if they're compatible with the same size, they will show up as the same size. But if there's a huge difference in the dimensions of the pictures, then that will show as well. So, so here's your pictures, and it has your sayings on it. So you see, even though I put it to be cropped, then it is cropped, but where the extra space is, it has this gray area. Yeah. So I don't really like that. Right. So, you know, and it could just be the sizing. So if I wanted to go back to that picture and click on this gallery and change my settings, and maybe
Is there a way to put the wording under the picture as opposed?
Not in the gallery. It shows up on the picture. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
That's the only thing about the gallery, is that if you do put the caption, it shows up on the picture. So now we can do it this way, and it actually makes the picture a little bit bigger so that the words have more places to go. Then if we update that and then do our preview, then we can see how having just the smaller amount across the top can change how the pictures look and how your caption shows. So we can come down here and actually see that. So now, because of the way this picture is, the gray's gone, but you see how my pictures are a little bit distorted. So there's two different things I can do. Is I can go back here and actually edit my gallery. Come up here and edit the gallery. It will show my pictures. And since I know this one's a smaller picture, maybe I want it down in the bottom. So if I move this one around and put it down here, and where was the other small one? I think these two. So let's update the gallery here and maybe do 4 across the top so that this smaller one is by itself, and update. And see, this is how you play with your website to get it looking exactly the way you want it to look.
Wow.
And then once you update it, then you can go to your preview.
And tell me again why you use preview and not view page.
If you go to view page, it opens over your page you're working on. So if I hit view page, this is my edit page. This is where I'm working on. So if I hit this, it's going to open up over this page. So then I have to go back and open up a new page and start editing all over again. Whereas if I hit preview, it opens in a new tab. So then I just toggle from one to the other. I look and see how it looks. If I don't like it, you know, I come here and look and see if it looks better. See, now that looks better. And my picture's the way it's supposed to be. So I like that. So then all I got to do is come back to this page that I'm working on, and it's done. Whereas if I hit view page, this page will no longer be here. I would actually have to go open another tab and go back to my edit page. So that's why you always hit preview, so it opens in a new tab, and your original page you're working on is still there for you to continue working on it.
What I found out is that when I hit preview, it put a string of boxes across the top. I didn't realize that.
Yep. So so you want to hit preview, and it should just have one. So anytime you open this page and you hit update, as long as you don't close out this preview, it will open up the same preview. So you won't have a string of tabs up. So if you have preview and leave it there, then you come here and update and hit preview again. See, it just opens up my same preview because it's still there. Whereas if you hit view page, then guess what? You're going to have to keep opening up another page, another tab, because it's going to keep adding. Every time you hit view page, it's going to close over. Then you're going to have to open up another tab to get back to the page you were working on. So it's just a lot easier to hit this button. Then you only have your 2 to work in. Save you some time. That helped a little bit.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Very, very welcome. All right. I think that's all I have. If anybody has any questions, we're going to open up for Q&A for a few minutes. Let's see what's in the chat.
What?
All righty. I don't see anything. I think everybody. So if there's anything, I do have the keyword search that Paul put out on Thursday. It's in the chat. So for those that want to copy that. Also, if you did not put your name in the chat, let me know. Go ahead and type your name that you did attend class. Put it in the chat. If you're my student, I know you're here, so I don't need to worry about that. But if you did not put in the chat that you attended the class, please put your name, your full name into the chat so I can let your instructor know that you were here. Hey, Miss Barbara, how are you? I didn't see you jump on. So anybody have, good, I'm glad you got here. So is there any questions that was not covered that we need to cover for your website today? Anybody? So everybody's good to go and get started? All right. I wanted to show you the one thing I said I was going to show you real quick. So you know I wasn't pulling your leg. Remember I told you I was ranking on page 2. So let me go to, I think I put it under advertising. Actually.
What? Stop it.
Sheila, you have to tell people how easy it is to hear them.
I know.
No, breathing, coughing.
That's why I always say if you're not talking, just please mute yourself because it does come through quite plainly. So here's my Bing ranking, and I'm going to pull this up so you know I was not pulling your leg. So on Bing, I think this is the one I'm on page 2, might be page 3. So right here, my position is page 3, is position 3 on page 1. So I am the third ranking for, or the third ad that people see when they go to Bing and search for fine wine business opportunities. I did this one about 3 months ago. So it's ranking on page 1, position 3. That's amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Here's the one on Yahoo, and I think it's the same page or the same ad that I'm doing. So on Yahoo, it's ranking. Yep, same one. So this one is actually position 2 on page 1. So if people are searching for wine business opportunities, mine's the second one on page 1. So I'm probably only beating out the company that's actually doing wine. so they probably have position 1 that's being paid for. So this is pretty good. So Google will actually see this, and because right now this same page is page 6. This same.
How are you getting those stats?
Jaxi.
Oh,
when
Jaxi.
you sign up for Jaxi, you can do a search. You actually have, forgot how many free searches where you can put in a web page that you have on your system, and it will show you where you rank on Google, Bing, and Yahoo.
Oh, wow.
Where you're actually ranking, which is good. You want to see that because when you rank high on those 2 and you start getting traffic on those 2, it also helps you move in Google. And I'm not even advertising on those. They're picking that up from my ad sites, from where I'm advertising on classifieds and things like that, where people are actually searching and finding me from searches. Same thing with when you get Google AdSense and it gives you your analytics down at the bottom, it will tell you if it came from a site if somebody just searched you from a search engine, or if they found you from an advertising site. And like I said, I've been searched so much in Belgium. I don't know why. Belgium, what was the other one? France, Italy, what was that? Germany. And it's all come from search engine traffic. None of it came through ad sites. They were all search engines. So that means somebody actually typed in my keyword and pulled up my website, which is amazing. So that means I'm getting traffic not only in the United States, but in other countries. So that's why I say that keyword is the search, or is the key to getting your search traffic. Just because you think you have a good title and a good keyword, you still want to use it, find out if there's something else out there that you can use. And like, Paul made the suggestion, Jaxie's $50 a month. If you have $50 free 1 month, sign up for it for a month. Type in every keyword you can think of for anything that you can write, and copy every page that they give you. And then at the end of the month, they just cancel your subscription. And then if you run out of keywords, guess what? Do it again for another month for $50. It's still a write-off. You got $50. Keep the receipt. When they send it to you, print it off, put it in your folder or file, write it off at the end of the month, at the end of the year, as a business expense. But that way you have, something to fall back on if you're like, well, my page isn't getting indexed, or I'm not getting any traffic to my system. It could be your keyword. Even though you think it's great, it really isn't a good searchable keyword. It's not what's trending. It's not what people are actually looking for. So use those free keyword searches. You get 30 with Jaxie. You get 30 free keyword searches, and they go by your email address. So if you got 50 email addresses, guess what? You can type in each email address and get 30 free more searches. So, that's another way to circumvent it, but you only get 10 keywords. That's the thing about it. I think it's 10 or 15. But then again, that's 10 or 15 free keywords that you didn't have before. And they don't always give the QSR, but at least they give you the traffic flow. But that's just one of the things that you want to make sure you have is a good keyword, and make sure that the keyword you get is something that's usable. Not all key phrases are usable. They might sound good, but it's kind of hard to make a title with them, or make them fit in a headline. It'd be easy to put them in a paragraph, but you want to make sure that it's going to be something that sounds good in a title, and it's not going to take up your whole title space. Now, the one thing that those of you that were in Evolution saw that I posted is some people were like, my title is always black. If you notice on my titles, they're colored. They show up black when you're in edit, but whenever I post them, they're colored. And it's because of the way I have my system set up. I actually have my titles colored. So when you go to your dashboard, the same way that you changed your headline or the title, your title page, is the same way that you change your colors of your titles. Just remember though, you can only do it one time. It's not where you can say, oh, I want this title or this color for this title on this page, and I want this color. You can only choose one color. So you come here to your colors, and you can select your link color, and you just select a color, and it will change whatever this is here. And you can change it to darker, lighter, whatever color for your link color. And then once you pick one, you just hit publish, and it will change your links. So now it went from pink to purple. All of these went from pink to purple. And then all of my titles going forward that I write will now be purple. So now when I come back to my page here and I hit preview, it was pink. So now when I look at it, it's going to be purple. So that's, it's not a big difference in the shade, but it's still, it's not pink. But just remember that you can't change each title, per page, but you can change it to where it's not always black. Same thing with these. You know, most people's are black, mine's purple. And so that's one way that you can, you know, change the way your title looks. But just make sure you're going to have a color that you can stick with, that you know, like. That don't mean that you can't come in, you know, maybe once a month and say, oh, I want to be blue this month and change it to blue. Just remember, every title is going to change to whatever color you set your background or you set your font to. So that's just a little tidbit. So anybody have anything else?
Sheila, everybody might know this, but I know it was helpful, I think, because I heard everybody, you talk about it later on. You know, when we have, we have on the left there our titles versus a floater. And I kind of thought that was interesting to, you know, it's okay to have a floater. It's okay if it's not in the,
yeah. Yeah. So there are, what we have floating pages. That's why when I say, whenever you're modifying your page or in doing your modifications, if you go to your dashboard, after you go through your categories and look at your all pages, because you don't want every page you create to be in your menu. It gets too cluttered. It just looks horrible. So you are going to, like, this is one I created. It's not in my menu, but it is searchable in my website. The one I just created here, it's not in my menu, but it is searchable in my website. So not everyone page you create is going to be in your menu structure, and you don't need them to be in your menu structure. The ones you want in your menu structure are the most current and relevant items or pages that you wrote. The ones that are going to bring you the most money. And I don't know why my Google ads is starting to show up over here now. It's just really weird. They used to show up over here. Now they're over here. So I got to go in and change my placement. But as you can see, and you're never going to have a drop down on your home menu, on your home. That's a different one altogether. So that's a customized tab. It's actually a post, so you don't have a listing for your post. But on your pages, you just want the most relevant ones on your drop down. You don't want, you know, like 50 million ones. Like here, this is technically too many. But, you know, I can actually come back here and change some of these if I want to, take them out, the ones that I don't want to, or I can just put them in a different category. You know, you only want maybe 4 or 5 in there. Same thing with here, like Discovery Wines online. And then I got my different wine pages that I've done, delivered to your doors. Another one where you can have actual drop downs for your different countries that you have. Like this one, it's not even there anymore. I need to take it out, actually put it in draft, but this coconut oil one's not even valid anymore. This one is back. For those that don't know, this one is back on ClickBank. It was gone for a bit, but now it's there again. I saw it yesterday. But yeah, there's pages. You know, I have a lot of pages in here, but I also have a lot of pages that's not in here. I mean, I have 250 some odd pages in my website. They're not all here. There's no way I can put them all here. It'd just be too overwhelming for people to look for them. So that's why you have your search.
Can I say one more thing, Sheila?
Yes.
You know, and one of the things you have in the index, am I using the correct word? You can always put a internal link to bring to one of the floaters.
Yes. When you come to your tab right here, when you actually do your initial category page, you can always put another blurb right here at the bottom, you know, and say, oh, you know, just put a little advertising and then put an internal link to that page. It doesn't have to be on your menu drop down, but you can put it in your category page with a little advertising and link, because all of these should be linked and go straight to another page in your system. They shouldn't go to the manufacturer. It should go to another page for them to read about. So, you know, if you have something that should be under business and e-marketing and you wrote a page for it but don't necessarily want it in the Dropbox, then come here and just write another short little ad and put like this one, say, see the latest or see what I wrote or see what's the updates on it, and then put the internal link there. So yes, that's where you want it to be. And this might get fairly long, but that's fine. That's why you want the colors. That's why you want the pictures, to let them know that, hey, there's something different. But it doesn't all have to be here. You don't want it all to be here. Like this one here, I'm going to take this one out. I don't even use that. But there's, different things that you can, do to make your page more accessible and make it easier for people to navigate through.
Sheila, can I PM you a page I did and have you comment on it?
Sure. Why don't you put it on the Evolution group? You'll get a bunch of people that way.
Okay.
We do that all the time. I do it all the time. That way you get more eyes looking at it and you get some good feedback. Just remember, that you might get some criticisms too. It's good.
Oh, hey. Yeah, no, I asked for feedback. I only got one. And so I'd rather have you get in there and tell me what
still put it
the only way I learn.
Yeah, still put it out there, because there's people, they'll read it and never comment on it. I promise you. Everything that gets posted, people read them. They just might not comment on it because they feel like, I've noticed that some people just don't feel confident, especially if they're still struggling with things. They don't feel confident enough to critique anybody else's writing. But I will always give you, my opinion on anything, good, bad, or otherwise. But I always check those sites. I always check the chat room. I'm on there all the time. So yeah, post it on there and see what kind of feedback you get. I promise you I will read it.
I did. I did last night, so yeah. That's
the one on the spaghetti, the pasta, Italian pasta.
It was on on Italian steak sandwich.
Okay.
Cheesesteak.
I saw that. I'll have to go back and reread because I was just reading it based on the food.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
And it looked delicious. But it was like at 1:30 in the morning. I was like, oh, I need to.
I know.
In here cooking at 1:30 in the morning to wake the whole house up. But yeah,
thank you.
Go through and look and actually critique it based on your content. I will do that for you, most definitely. So Estelle's good at doing that too. So she reads mine all the time.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So, and anybody that's on the chats, that's the other thing. That's why we have Evolution, is to help each other. So when somebody does post a link that they've done or a page that they've done, they're doing that for a reason, because you can look and read something that you've written and never see a mistake, and just because you've looked at it, you know what you want to say, and you look at it and you think that's what you said. But it might not always be the case. So if somebody posts something like that and genuinely ask for your feedback, please read it and give them your feedback. But don't be so negative in it. Think about how, how you want to feel in their shoes. You want good critiquing, but you don't want to blast them and pick out every little flaw. Because I'm going to tell you and be perfectly honest with you, you want some flaws in your writing. People don't want to read expert writing because it makes people feel inferior. If you got a misspelled word or a word that you used incorrectly that you thought was really good, you will get more traffic coming to that one page than you will get from a page that is done exactly the way it's supposed to be, every letter where it needs to be, every punctuation correct, and it's just human nature. Nobody wants to see somebody that's better than they are. If you got some kind of flaw, they can relate to you, even in your writing. So you don't want everything to be perfect, but you want it to be readable and legible. So that means if you misplace the comma, so what? If you got a run-on sentence or you put a period at the end and started the sentence with and, so what? Everybody does it. So you don't want the little things like that, but if you know that they used a totally different word and it has a totally different meaning and changes the way their sentence reads, that's something you want to look at. But you don't want to look for every little period and punctuation. You just want to make sure that it flows good, that it has good sentence structure, and that it's relatable. That's what you're looking for when people put that out there. And think about how you want them to relate to you. Okay? But,
Sheila,
yes.
the person that read Charles commented on Charles' page, told him he needs to get on the Wednesday wine event.
Yes, he does. You need to cook that, Charles. You need to get on there.
No comment from Charles.
I know. You need to get on there, Charles. You know, that might be actually one that
I am. But I know I'm not perfect. I love to hear criticism. I'm a big boy, so it's the only way you learn. Really.
Exactly. So, but yeah, those of you that love cooking or have great recipes, get with Tanya and Kathleen Metzler and tell them you would love to be on the Wine Wednesday Wine and Dine, that you want to cook a meal, that you have a meal to cook with them. I think the calendar's filled all the way up through middle of October already for people want to get on and cook. It's just a good way because we're going live. You know, it's a live feed. And usually Priscilla or Matt will follow your recipe. You just post the recipe the day before or a couple of days before, so that everybody can get what they want. And anybody that's cooking and following along, if you're on, Zoom, cut it on. Just make sure you don't have feedback. Your phone is not sitting beside your laptop or whatever you're using to record or on Zoom, so you don't get the feedback. And if you got background noise, make sure you mute yourself out, but show other people that you're following along and cooking, because even though the recipe's the same, everybody always has their own little flair they add. Like Matt likes his stuff just a little on the spicy side, so he's always adding hot sauce, Worcester, or jalapenos to just about everything. Just pair it with the good wine. So if you've got some good ideas and want to cook your meal on Facebook Live, give us a holler. We'll put you on the schedule. So that's all I have for today. Next week we will, if I get the okay from my student to use her website as a training tool, we will use that. If I don't hear back from her, if there's anybody that has a website they wouldn't mind me using for a training tool to show how to do some modifications, send me your information to get on your site, and I'll be more than happy to use your site as a training tool next week. So, because mine is basically done. so I don't have much to edit and modify that most people would understand. But yeah, most definitely, if I don't hear back from her, if there's some people that have unfinished pages that you haven't gotten to and would like me to jump on and do that, just give me a holler and send me your information, and I'll make sure we get that taken care of. So if that's all we have, I'm going to say have a good day.
Thank you, Sheila.
Working on your website.
Bye.
You're very welcome. And don't forget, October the 5th, we will not have class because I will be in Virginia. Miss Constance, I'll be giving you a holler to see how far you are away.
I didn't want to push it. I go, I'm not saying nothing if she doesn't say anything.
No, I forgot, lady.
I don't want to be where I'm not wanted, so I'm a little insecure about that.
I will be in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
That's not far.
October the 5th. I think we're going down that Thursday. Yeah, I think we're going.
You get to meet Pie Wacket?
Yeah.
No, I'm not bringing her.
So if anybody's going to be in that area, I'm not sure at the hotel we'll be staying at. My husband hadn't told me yet, but I'll be in that area. I think we're going down either Thursday night or Friday morning. I'll let you know what hotel we're at. We can sit down and have a mini get together. Okay. I'm all for it. So I know Miss Constance, we're gonna get together for sure. So anybody in that area, just give me a holler. We'll figure something out. All right. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good weekend.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Let's see. Good job, Linda.